guys, welcome back to our channel. So today I'm going to show you how I do this Pop Smoke inspired stitch braid feed-in cornrows on my client. Yes, it's a lot, but I'm going to show you. Okay, so I start this braid off with 3 strands of my client's natural hair. I'm going to do about 2 sets of braids, then I'm going to feed in. As you can see, I'm feeding in little strands at a time. So the first 2 strands I feed in are going to be small and they're going to be the same size. And then the next 2 strands that I feed in are going to be twice the size of the first 2 strands that I put in the hair. Meaning that the hair is going to double. The hair that I feed in is going to double, right, as I go on to the second one. Okay, so you see here I did 1 and then I'm doing the other. So now I'm up to 4 different strands that I fed into the hair. Now the 5th and the 6th one are going to be a little bigger than the ones that I fed in before. Okay, so that's 5, and now I'm going to be feeding in the 6th. Okay, here we go. Okay, and as you go along, you see the hair is going to become thicker, so there's more hair to manage within the braids. Okay, so now we're up to the 7th braid. The 7th braid is going to be the consistent size going forward, meaning every other strand that I add from this point on are going to be about the same size as this particular braid. Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a certain consistency within the size of the braid. Meaning I want the braid to get bigger, but I want it to be consistent. I don't want it to go from like medium to jumbo in one feed-in. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding in the hair, feeding in the hair consistently in the cornrow until I get my desired size. A quick tip I could give you when doing cornrows is to make sure you separate your hair. Separate the hair that you're going to be feeding in the cornrows in advance, because what that does is it helps to keep your cornrows at a consistent size. Sometimes when you're just grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, you end up with cornrows that are not the same size, meaning some may be bigger than others. So what I would like to do is like I count it out. So if I'm going to start out a cornrow, depending on the length of the cornrow, with let's say 10 or 12 feed-ins, I'm going to separate those 10 or 12 hair that I'm going to feed in, and I'm going to count it out to make sure that at the end of each cornrow I add in the same amount of hair, and the hair is more or less the same consistency in terms of size. Okay, so right here you'll see me add a little braiding gel to the braid. What I like to do is add a little braiding gel to the client's natural hair to keep it smooth and tucked into the actual braid itself. It helps to eliminate frizz. So here I'm gonna part the other side. What I like to do is do a rough part, then I'll go in with the braiding gel and I'll put that in the part. Then I'll go over the part again with the comb, because the root now has the braiding gel, and it makes it easier to separate the hair and for you to get like a really clean, sharp parts. I'm a real stickler when it comes to my parts, so you'll see me go over a section like 3 or 4 times just to make sure it's clean. I think that's the braider in me, and you know, people who are professional braiders, they know that the part is everything. Like the braid is good and it's great to have clean braids, but the part will make a style. You could have clean, neat braids, but if your parts are off, it takes away from the entire style. No one's going to be looking at the cornrows. Everyone's going to be looking at the part. just to let you know, FYI. Okay, so here you see me going over the part again. As stated before, I put some of the braiding gel in the rough part, then I'm going to use the comb to go over it. You'll see me put some products to the right and the left of the braid. What that does is smoothen out the hair, which makes it more cleaner when I do my stitches. So I like to saturate the hair on the right, and then I'm going to go to the left of the braid and also saturate it with the product, the braiding gel. The braiding gel I like to use for my cornrow is Neat Braids. It is a thicker gel, and the reason why I like it is because it allows me to really snatch the hair. The only downfall with it is that it does dry pretty quickly, and what it does is it attaches itself not only to the client's hair but also the braiding hair, so it can make it a struggle to maneuver, but when the braid is done, it's going to look very neat and very clean. Okay, so now we are at the back, which are shorter cornrows. So in order to keep the same consistency and size, you have to now add more hair because there's going to be less opportunity for you to feed it in the braid. So my first two feed-ins are going to be the same size as the ones in the previous cornrows. But as I feed in hair, the hair that I'm feeding in is actually going to be thicker. So that at the end of this cornrow, the braid size that are hanging are going to be of the same consistency and the same size. Okay, leave a comment in the comment box if you don't understand what I'm saying, so maybe I could explain it better. But you're going to feed in thicker strands of hair into this particular cornrows because it's shorter than the ones before, but at the end you want it to be the same consistency, so you have to be very diligent about the amount of hair that you add in. So we are coming down to the end of the final cornrow, and I'm so excited for how this style is going to turn out. This client of mine is always bringing me cute, creative styles to challenge my fingers, and I am always up for the challenge. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. Please remember to like, subscribe on this channel so that we can continue to bring you great hair content and tips. So here you're going to see me going over the braids with the scissors. I'm going to be clipping away any flyaways or any hair that is hanging out to keep the braids looking neat. After trimming the braids, I'm going to use my flat iron on 340 degrees, and I'm going to go over each braid with the flat iron. I do not sit the flat iron on the hair. It's usually like 3 seconds over the top, from top to bottom of the braids, and then I also do the sides to clean them up and keep them looking neat and sharp. Once that's done, I'm gonna go in with our Sleek and Shine mousse over the braid just to set the style. The mousse helps to add an additional shine to the braid as well as help the hair relax. So it'll, fall a little bit more natural and not be so stiff. Okay, so my opinion is no style is complete without a sleek edge control. I'm going to be using our sleek edge control to lay her edges before I put her under the dryer. Okay, so the last step to this braid style is to dip the ends. I'm going to dip the braids up to the client's natural hair. So I'm going to stop right before I get to her natural hair because I don't want the braids to frizz out. I do want them to fall naturally, but I don't want them to frizz out. So I usually stop right before I get to the client's natural hair. So I am a stickler for neat sealed ends. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna dip these ends as many times as I have to make sure that they are sealed and they are neat. Well, here you have it, guys, the finishing touch and the finished product. Let me know what you think.